Hello there, me again. This is going to be a kind of follow-up to a video that I did just called The Biggest Deception. And this was on the deception and the psyop that is the Israel-Gaza war. How we're all being played. Which the vast majority of people, and especially in our neck of the woods, are completely unaware of and are falling for on the day. It may have confused a lot of people because they see things in our space and on the news that kind of confirms what they believe, what they think it is. But when you think a little bit deeper and try and view it from the outside looking in, and most importantly, and this is what you should always do, leave your emotions at the door, you begin to see a very different picture emerging. Israel is in control, as many people think. The Jews aren't in control, as many people think. They're just a tool being used for the wider regime. There are certain ideological traits that are being used by one group over another 3 groups that are very common, these ideological traits, between the 3 Abrahamic religions. And these ideological traits kind of cement them together and kind of make them very compatible, but also very easy to use as a tool of control. And they also make them pretty similar. Each of the Abrahamic faiths has a certain sect within them that is apocalyptic in nature. In their minds, they see the apocalypse or the Armageddon as a means to ushering in the return of the Messiah, or the coming of the Messiah. It's the return of the Messiah in Christianity. A prime example of this, right? And the ones that are actually who are pushing this more than anything else are the eschatological, or commonly known as Christian Zionists. Their firm belief is that Christ's return will happen through, 1, the creation of a Israeli state, and 2, a final battle that will be held in Israel that will then see, 3, the return of Jesus. they'll do anything to usher in the return of Christ. They see it as their sort of divine purpose. And they will go to any lengths to do this. Now, because it has the term Zionist in it, people automatically assume, because of their own ignorance, that it's the Jews that are controlling these Christian Zionists, and that's not the case. It's the other way around. Always has been the other way around. This video, this one I'm making now, I'm having to be very selective of what I say, because even mentioning the brotherhoods that are involved in this have prevented my video from being even uploaded. I keep getting stomped. It won't upload. I'm assuming that the reason why is because of what I'm mentioning here. Like I said, each of the Abrahamic faiths has their own version of this apocalyptic mindset. Muslims have it, Jews have it, but it's the Christian Zionists, or the eschatological Christians, more to the point, that are pushing this narrative more than anything else. 90%, right, of Parliament and 90% of the US Congress and Senate are all eschatological or Christian Zionists. In Trump's cabinet, it is literally flooded with them. And this is where we get a prime example of what I'm talking about. The Defence Secretary, Trump's Defence Secretary, Pete Hegseth. Everyone noticed the tattoo that he had on his chest. The Jerusalem cross. Now, many people mistakenly identify that as a Templar symbol, and that's not the case. It's nothing to do with the Templars. But these were a very select and devout order of knights that were under the command of the King of Jerusalem at the time. It's called the Leper King. I'll put it across the bottom below. I can't remember his name. This chivalrous order is still in existence today. Oh yeah, like I said, this order of knights is still very prominent today. Very much working in the background. Looks like the Hospitaliers, who have a permanent seat in the UN and on the WHO. Another order of knights that sprang up around the same time as the Templars and everyone else. And this order as well. The difference with this order, though, is that along with still having their division of clerics and priests, they still have a militaristic wing, of which Pete Hegseth is a member. They aren't Jewish, but they believe wholeheartedly in defending Jerusalem at any cost. Not only that, but defending Jerusalem at any cost to usher in the return of Christ. To bundle them in with with Jews, or to even not even recognise this fact, is extremely ignorant. Extremely ignorant. To them, the more anti-Semitism and the more antagonism there is towards Israel, the better, because it furthers their cause. Something I've not heard anybody consider. So you will find this order at the heart of practically all, well, particularly the US and UK, all upper levels of the military and intelligence world. Not just in the US and UK though, although they're more prominent in those, but also across Europe. It is the reason why you see news like, or the disclosure of certain members of the Senate and Congress that are being paid off by AIPAC. If you actually look at who actually gives AIPAC the money, you'll see it all ties back to the CIA fronts, MI6 fronts. AIPAC isn't what people believe it is either. It has the odd Jewish billionaire here and there that are funneling money into it, but the vast majority of it is coming from US and UK intel and military. The fact that you're seeing all these politicians going over and kissing the wall, it's not because they've converted to Judaism, it's because they're part of this order of knights, of which it's very difficult to actually talk about. And most people miss this. They immediately assume as soon as they see the Star of David that something involved with Judaism, or they're Jewish in some way. And that's not the case. The hexagram stems back tens of thousands of years, even before Jews even adopted it. And this is why they were chosen to have that symbol as their Star of David, so to speak, even though it's got nothing to do with David. It's got nothing to do with Judaism, really. And it's through this, the hexagram, and its links to Saturn, that most people settle on because of the hexagon that's over the North Pole of Saturn, which is part and parcel why it's used in some respect. But it's also convenient again because the Saturnian cults that are the backbone of all Abrahamic faiths are in and of themselves another deception and another distraction. The cult, or the actual cult that is in control, is more based around the primordial gods. If you think of Erebus in Greek mythology, the one cult in the Ural Mountains in Romania, the basis of chaos and darkness. This is where the actual religious basis for the people that are in control originates and stems from. It's far older, far darker, and far more hidden than anybody out there that I've seen anywhere actually knows of or speaks of. People tend to stop at Jews and assume that that's where the story ends, and it's not. As I've mentioned countless times, over and over and over again, they are a tool, a means to an end that these people have used in a litany of others to hide who they are and what they do and who they're from and who they serve. And these people, they've become very good at the tradecraft. So even the deception looks like truth, looks like reality. Which is why you see, when you see things that are blatantly obvious and in your face, it's to deceive you. To deceive you. And they will use books, fake books, literal, definitely literature. Since the Middle Ages, they've used literature against us to deceive us and obfuscate who they are. We have to look at why Israel is being used in the way that it is. It's more Jerusalem. Israel is just a byproduct of that defence and use of the Temple Mount, and it's not by the Jews. Anyway, I think I've talked about this enough now. I don't expect anyone to listen, because no one ever does. No one has done yet. It don't matter how much evidence I show you, you're still going to ignore it. We're being funneled by idiots, shuffled by imbeciles, and blinded by hate. That's all I gotta say.